Hi, and welcome to this rundown of the European Veterans Fencing Registration software for the Hamburg 2022 event. To start registering your team, you can surf first to the veteransfencing.eu website. And when you arrive there, you'll see a calendar button at the top. Click on that one, and it will take you to the upcoming events for the Veterans Fencing Circuit. We scroll down all the way down, and we see the European Veterans Championships scheduled to be held in May. It will show you a register button. I will click on the register button, and this will take you to a login screen. You should log in here with the credentials that were provided to you. I have several credentials here, and I will select my head of delegation for my country, Estonia. Estonia is one of the European countries that has no COVID cases at all. I click on that and the interface will initialize, and I have to wait a bit before everything loads. This will take a few seconds, and then we'll see the general overview interface. The interface will show you all the competitions of this event. In the center we have the regular competitions, the team events. First the men's épée team and the men's épée team Grand Veterans, then the men's foil team Grand Veterans, etc., etc. All the way at the end we have a column for the support roles for the people that are coach or team medic or armor or whatever. And at the start we have 3 side events. They have complicated abbreviations that I will get to in a moment. At this time there are no entries for the team event, but as registration fills up, the numbers will appear here. To start the registration, I'll click on the registration tab at the bottom. We also have a cashier tab next to that. This will deal with the financial aspects, but first we need to go to registration. Click on registration. This will load a new interface, and this is the registration interface for the head of delegation of the country called Estonia. Estonia has a few fencers in the database. And to see which fencers I have currently in the EVF database, I click on the search fencers input box and I enter the A. This will load all my fencers that have a last name starting with the A. In this case I have 2, as well a tester, which is a woman, and lastly a test, which is a man. Both are category 4 fencers, one born in 1950, the other born in 1951. I can also select all the fencers that have a last name starting with a B, but in this case there are no fencers with a B. I do have a fencer with a last name starting with a D, 2 effects, also the test and task dowel. If your fencer is not in this list, you can add a new fencer by clicking on the Add New Fencer button. I click on that one and I create a new fencer, and this one is Done Testing, and Done Testing is born in 1970 and is a man. And I save that. Done Testing will end up in the search fencers result list and also in the all participants list, but at the moment Done Testing is not registered for any event. If I enter a fencer that already exists in the database, for example demo fencer born in 1920, very old demo fencer. This demo fencer is also present in a different country, in this case the country called organizers, which is also a non-valid country of course. I get this pop-up box and it says, oh, there might be different fencers that you mean to enter. This could be the case if you have a fencer that switched a country, that migrated. You could select cancel here, say okay, I don't want to enter a new fencer, but I'm going to make sure that this fencer gets assigned to my country. In that case you need to contact system administration, or you can say no, this is duplicate, the same name, same birth date, but it's a completely different fencer. In that case you can just click on the save button. I'm going to cancel this one. I don't need the demo fencer. I have my own fencers and I can use these fencers to register my teams. If the fencing name that I've currently selected here, testing done, is not correct, or his year of birth is not correct, I can click on the pencil icon almost at the end, and then I can change the name. I can change the gender if I want to. I can change the birth date. I can save, and then it will get updated in the database. So now testing Dane is a woman instead of a man, still born in 1970 though. I'm going to register my fencers for team by clicking on the chevron, the small encircled arrow at the end, and this will open the registration dialog. The registration dialog shows me that this person, testing Dane, can enter for 3 events: the women's épée, the women's foil, and the women's saber event. Currently there are 3 teams events. Currently there are no teams there yet, so I'm going to register testing Dane for the women's épée team event. I'm going to create a new team, team number 1, automatically, and then I'm going to save by closing this dialog. You can see now that testing Dane is listed under all participants and has a role WET, Women's Épée Teams. I'm going to add another fencer as well. Here a tester as well. A tester is also a woman, but she can participate in the Grand Veterans. She's a category 4 fencer, and she can participate only in the Grand Veterans team events. So as well, a tester is going to also create a new team, the Grand Veterans team. I now have 2 fencers registered for my team event, but they are both in different teams. As well, a tester is participating in the Women's Épée Teams Grand Veterans, and testing Dane is in the Women's Épée Teams regular category 1 and 2. Well, going to add some new more fencers. Also the tests is a man, category 3 Grand Veterans, also men's épée. So 3rd team, and then I'm going to add a new fencer, the tester over there, and this is a category 2 fencer. So I have now 1 fencer in each épée event: men's épée teams Grand Veterans, women's épée teams, and women's épée teams Grand Veterans. These fencers are all listed with a red background because something is amiss at this point. It's because these teams are not complete yet. You need to have at least 3 participants in each team, and in a regular épée a regular team you need to have at least 1 category 2 fencer, and in a regular Grand Veterans team you need to have at least 1 category 4 fencer. Well, these teams do not fit these rules yet, so they are marked with a red background. I'm going to add a few more fencers so that I can fill up my team. Here I have Charlie Test Me. Charlie Test Me is born in 1980, is a category 1 fencer. I'm going to add that fencer to the men's épée team as well. You can see now that the team 1 is available. There is already a team, so I can select Charlie Test Me for team 1. And then I need another fencer as well. I'm just going to add a new fencer, and this is Testia. Testia is also born in 1980. Like it's a man. Testia is going to participate in the men's épée team 1. So now suddenly the red background drops away here, and you can see why this team is complete. We have 3 men in the men's épée teams events, and one of those is a category 2 fencer. If I scroll down the screen, I can see the list of all the various events that are happening, and I can open the men's épée team event over there, and then I can see all 3 fencers, and I can see that they're all registered for team 1. I can change here the registration as well by clicking on the chevron circle there, and I can say that this person is now participating in team 2. In this case, all the backgrounds become red again because team 2 and team 1 are both not correct. If this is a mistake, I can move them back to team number 1 like this, and then the team is correct. In the end, you want to have all participants with a light background, not with a red background. Next to teams, you may also want to register your support roles, your coaches and your team armorers, etc. To do that, I'm going to add a new person, lastly a test I can register as well. This person is not at this point going to participate as a ground veteran, but instead I'm going to scroll down to the support roles and I'm going to select that one. I'm going to say that lastly is a coach and also physio and perhaps a team armorer. You will notice the icons here on the right that will indicate that the database is updated immediately. Perhaps I misclicked, so the lastly a test is no longer team armor. I'm selecting none and closing the connection. Right, now you can see here lastly a test at the bottom and it has roles coach and physio. If I want to have lastly a test participate in the ground veterans anyway, I'm going to open the chevron again and select the ground veterans one team, closing the dialog. And now you can see lastly test over there. In the men's epic teams ground veterans, 2 of them, so not complete yet. In order to fill this team completely, I have to create a new fencer. This one is your test YOLO, and your test YOLO is born in 1950. Amen. And then I'm going to add your test YOLO to the ground veterans team. So now the ground veterans team for men is complete and the men's epic team is complete as well. If you look at this column over here after the role, you can see a photo icon, and there are 4 options for this photo icon. These indicate the status of the accreditation picture associated with this person. I can see 5 crosses here at the bottom. These people do not have yet a picture associated with them, and the 3 people here at the top, they do. First, as well a tester has a green icon. If I click on the chevron over there on the right, you can see that there's an accreditation picture attached of a Minecraft figure, and this accreditation picture was accepted by the organization, so it's now green. Then I have lastly a test. It has a red picture. That means lastly a test also has a picture, but apparently the organization does not like this Fortnite character, so they mark this as needs to be replaced, which is a red icon. And then we have a blue icon for also test. Also the test has Pikachu, but Pikachu is not yet granted access, so it needs to be validated by the organization. The other testers do not have a picture yet. I can click there, and all the interfaces have a browse button here, so I can select a new picture and upload that one, and then this blue icon will appear instead. Now we can also add some side events. I'm going to open the screen for lastly a test. In this case, there are 3 example side events for this Hamburg team demo event. These are not real events, so for the real registration screen nothing may show up here or something else may show up here. We have 3 events: a gala dinner, a referee congress, and some excursion to a historical site, and you can register for these events. For example, by clicking on the gala dinner, and I also want to go to the referee congress. The description of the event should display how much it will cost to participate and when it will be held. In this case, May 25th. And they're all 3 there, so it's difficult to attend all of them. I'm going to close, and I'm going to add another person to the excursion site and the referee congress, and more to the gala dinner. As I add these people to the gala, to the various side events, their gala dinner, the role will update. Their gala dinner, close, and test is also going to the gala dinner and wants to go to the referee congress. Now you can see that which people are going to which event, the gala dinner and the referee congress, and the example excursion to the historical site. This is just for registration purposes, and you don't need to fill a whole team here. I can scroll down all the way over there and I can see who has enrolled for the gala dinner. There are 5 people enrolled for the gala dinner, and I can see that there are 3 people going to the referee congress and 1 person going to the historical site excursion. Right, so this is registration for side events, and this will have an effect on the financial aspects. The financial parts are under the Cache tab. If I click on Cache, it will load up the details for these fencers. In this case, these are all the participants. I have like 8 participants already, and under the fee column it's listed how much each participant should pay for participating in the relevant events. In total, at the bottom I can see the group has to provide 920 euros. All these euros are still to be transferred, and 920 euros are also to be received by the head of delegation himself. I can mark the various fees that are transferred by the fencers to the head of delegation. For example, as well a tester will pay all the fees, 80 euros, to the head of delegation, and testing over there also pays all the fees. As I click, I will see that the receivable group costs at the bottom will go down. These fees I already received, and this is 670 euros is what I need to receive still. Some people participate in several events, and I can open their list over at the right, clicking on the chevron, and then I will see that lastly a test participates in 3 events. One of them is the men's Epic Grand Veterans, but also going to the gala dinner, which will cost 50 euros, and participating in the referee congress, which will cost an additional 10 euros. In total 140 euros. I can check that lastly a test provided all this finances to me by clicking on the right checkbox, but I can also, for example, on this fencer here, I can just click that they paid for the Grand Veterans but not for the gala dinner. Situations like this will arise when you register your whole team and then a week later somebody says, but I also want to go to the gala dinner or to the excursion. In that case they might have to transfer money in 2 phases. You can administer this for yourself. This is just a convenience way of administering what money was received by the head of delegation. The organization will have their own interface where they will mark which money was received by the head of delegation as a group payment to the organization, and in that case the transferable group cost at the bottom will go down. This indicates the amount of money that you need to transfer still to the organization, or at least that was not acknowledged yet as being received by the organization. At the bottom you can see the payment details. This will list the bank account, etc. for transferring the money. In this case there's no such information yet, but for the real Hamburg event this information will be filled in, of course. I can now gladly select all the fences, and as you see there will be a check mark on the right that indicates that the information was saved to the database. I can now click again on the overview tab. I will go back to the original overview, which was empty when we first came here. Now we can see that the country Estonia has registered several fencers. They have 1 team for the men's epic team with 3 fencers, and 1 for the Grand Veterans with 3 fencers. They have 1 team for the women's epic team, but there's only 1 fencer there yet. They have 2 support roles registered, a coach and a team armor if I'm not mistaken, and they have participants in the side events, in this case the example gala dinner EGD, the example referee congress ERC, and the example excursion to historical site EETHS. So these are complicated abbreviations, and these events will of course disappear for the real Hamburg 2022 event, and they will probably be replaced by something else. As organizers enter their own volunteers, there will be more roles here at the bottom, and at the far end here we have the officials, like members of the boards and other people that are sent by the EVF or FIE to watch over the team championships. Okay, I hope you understood everything that I showed you. Thanks for watching, and good luck with registering your teams for the Hamburg event. Please do not hesitate to ask assistance if you can't work this interface out. We'll be happy to supply assistance. Thank you.